Hello everyone and welcome to yet another video of topic transpiration, and from that we are going to study next point, that is guttation. Have you observed there is a water droplets on a grass of lawns, or sometime you might have observed that when any plant has injury it secretes some sticky or watery substances. For example, in acacia there is one sticky substance, or in moringa it also secretes one sticky substance when there is an injury to the plant. And sometimes when you go for walking early in the morning, you might have observed that grass of lawns having water droplets on at the apical region of leaves of grasses. So what is that? These droplets are due to the process of guttation. So let's see what is meant by guttation. Bernstein proposed the term guttation. Some plants lose water in liquid form by guttation and exudation process. Loss of water in liquid form from uninjured tips or margins of leaf is known as guttation. जे तुम्ही दवबिंदू बघता गवतांच्या पानांच्या टोकाला कुठेही इंजुरी नसतानाही ग्रासचे जे काही लीव्स आहेत त्याच्या मार्जिन्समधून किंवा अपायकल रिजनमधून तुम्हाला छोटे छोटे वॉटर ड्रॉपलेट्स बाहेर आलेले बघायला मिळतात अर्ली इन द मॉर्निंग. तर दॅट इज नथिंग बट द गटेशन. So guttation is the loss of water in the form of liquid from the uninjured tips of or margins of the leaf is known as guttation. The amount of water lost by this process is very negligible in comparison to loss of water by transpiration. Guttation has not been observed in all plants. Bernstein reported guttation in 333 genera of plants belonging to 115 families. For example, tomato, grasses, oat, strawberry, potato, cabbage, nephrolepis, equisetum and colocasia, etc. The drop of water are often found on the tip of grass blades in the morning. These drops are actually drops of gutted water. The gutted drops of water contain water in which organic substances like carbohydrate, nitrogen compounds, organic acid and inorganic substances like mineral salts are dissolved. So look at the diagram, upper one, that is here guttation of nasturtium leaf, and here guttation in oat leaves. Look at the water drops at the margin or at the tip of margin or at the tip of vein there is a water droplet. After the drops have dried, organic and inorganic substance remains as a residue on the tips or margins of leaves. So the gutted liquid contains 0.05 to 0.5% of inorganic and organic solids. हे जे काही ड्रॉपलेट्स आहेत तर त्यांच्यामध्ये ऑर्गॅनिक किंवा इनऑर्गॅनिक सबस्टन्सेस सुद्धा वॉटर ड्रॉप सोबत बाहेर टाकले जातात आणि त्यांचं प्रमाण जवळजवळ 0.05 to 0.5% इतकं असतं. Generally guttation takes place when conditions are such that absorption of water greatly exceeds transpiration. ठीक आहे, ट्रान्सपिरेशनच्या रेटपेक्षा जास्त जर वॉटर प्लांट बॉडी ॲब्सॉर्ब करत असेल तर त्या कंडिशनमध्ये प्लांट्स लीफच्या मार्जिनमध्ये असलेल्या पोअर्स थ्रू ते पाणी बाहेर टाकतात आणि त्या प्रोसेसला आपण गटेशन असं म्हणतो. Therefore the excess of water escapes through a structure called as hadathode. हे जे काही वॉटर बाहेर येण्याची पर्टिक्युलर प्लेस आहे जी तुम्हाला इथे बघायला मिळते, here. So this is the apical region of each vein. There is one pore called as a or structure called as a hadathode. They are also known as water stomata or water glands. These hadathodes are special stomata. They are present on tips or margins of the leaves. Look at here. Position of hadathoda in diagram A. Leaf at the end of the vein and at the margin of the leaf there is a presence of water stomata or hadathode. Sometimes the woody stem guttates water through lenticels. As we know, lenticels are present on the stems in cork. So आपण लेंटिक्युलर ट्रान्सपिरेशनच्या वेळी लेंटिसेल्स आणि स्मॉल कॉम्प्लिमेंटरी सेल्स यांचं स्ट्रक्चर बघितलेलं आहे. तर लेंटिसेल्स थ्रू पण कधी कधी गटेशन आपल्याला झालेलं बघायला मिळतं. हाडाथोड्स आर प्रेझेंट ॲट द टिप ऑफ वेन एंडिंग ऑफ लीव्स. Each hadathode consists of a water pore which remains permanently open. Here, this is the water pore which is permanently open. Below this pore, there is a small cavity. Here, the cavity is named as a air chamber or cavity. Below the cavity, there is a loose tissue called as epitheme. This is the epitheme. This is the structure of single hadathode. Epitheme is in close contact with ends of vascular elements, that is xylem, and water from xylem passes into the epitheme. These are the vascular strands, and the epitheme, this tissue is in contact with these strands. So the water comes from the xylem strands into the epitheme. From epitheme, water comes here. First, water present inside the xylem strand, one. Secondly, it comes into the epitheme, and from epitheme the water is released into cavity here, and then when cavity is completely filled with water solution, the water solution begins to oozes out from the water in the form of water drops through the pore. Finally, water oozes outside the leaf. So this oozing of water drop is known as a guttation. Harberland distinguished two types of hadathodes. First one, that is epitheme hadathode, and second one, that is active hadathode. When these are hadathodes from which water is forced out in xylem vessel by root pressure, such hadathodes are called as epitheme hadathodes. Active hadathodes, these are the hadathodes from which water is given out by forces developed within the cells themselves. So these are two types of hadathodes, epitheme hadathodes and active hadathodes. The volume of water that the plant guttates ranges from few drops to 100 ml or more per day from the leaves of Colocasia. Cold, dry and poorly aerated soil prevent guttation. Mineral deficiencies in plant also reduce the process of guttation. So this is all about guttation and hadathodes. Simply, if the water is coming out of the plant body without any injury, that process is called as a guttation. It is not present in every plant. It is present in particular species of plant, for example grasses, cereals, etc. Next point, that is exudation. The last point from the topic is exudation. Bleeding of liquid water and sap with dissolved substances from injured parts of plant is known as exudation. प्लांटला जर एखादी इंजुरी झाली आणि त्याच्यातून जर वॉटर कंटेनिंग सबस्टन्स बाहेर येत असेल किंवा एखादा वॉटर मिक्स असलेलं एखादं सबस्टन्स जर इंजुरीमधून बाहेर पडत असेल तर त्या प्रकारच्या एक्सक्रिशनला नॉट एक्सक्रिशन but bleeding of liquid sap is called as a exudation. The liquid water and sap with dissolved substance is known as exudate. एक्झुडेशन फेनॉमेनॉनमध्ये बाहेर येणारा जो काही सबस्टन्स आहे तर त्याला आपण एक्झुडेट असं म्हणतो. Sometimes a large amount of water may be lost by exudation. The duration of exudation and the amount of sap exudate vary from plant to plant. Agave exudates 6.7 liters. Bitch exudates 3.75 liters. Caryota urines 50 liters. Sunflower 4.9 ml of sap per day. The phenomenon of exudation is of great economic importance in many cases. For example, exudate sap from sugar maple plant yield sugar. Toddy palm plant yield alcoholic drink called as toddy. The latex which yield rubber is exuded from rubber plants. You might have observed toddy or nira is toddy or nira is extracted, or we can say we make some injuries to the plant, and from this injury this toddy or nira is collected as a exudation or exudate of that plant. Or in case of rubber plant, they are injured, the stem of rubber plant is injured, then this injured part secretes some latex, and this latex is utilized for extraction of rubber. So the table shows duration of bleeding and the amount of sap exuded from different plants. First of all, Helianthus anus. Amount of exuded sap is 30 ml within 16 days, and per day it on an average per day 1.9 ml of exuded sap. Begonia coccinea. Amount of exuded sap is 160 ml, duration 29 days, and on an average per day 5.8 ml. Agave americana, about 1000 liter exuded sap during 4 to 4.5 months, and per day it exudates about 6.7 liters. Caryota urines, it exudates about 500 liters within 10 days, and per day it exudates 50 liters of sap. So here we are going to discuss regarding difference between transpiration and evaporation. As we are talking about the loss of water in the form of vapor from aerial part of plant is known as a transpiration. So what is mean by what is difference between transpiration and evaporation? So let's see. First difference, it is a physiological process. Transpiration is a physiological process, evaporation is a physical process. Transpiration is a vital phenomenon, the loss of water in the form of vapor through stomata or cuticle or lenticels. Evaporation is a diffusion process from water surface to atmosphere. कुठल्याही वॉटर सरफेस वरून पाणी ॲटमॉस्फिअर मध्ये वेपर फॉर्म मध्ये जातं, तेव्हा त्याला आपण इव्हॅपोरेशन असं म्हणतो. Third one, transpiration. In transpiration, water is given out in the form of vapor. In evaporation, water is lost in diffused form. Fourth, transpiration. In transpiration, the rate of transpiration is directly proportional to rate of water absorption. In case of evaporation, evaporation is directly proportional to the available area. Water surface area किती जास्त असेल तेवढं evaporation जास्त होतं. Fifth one, in transpiration, it regulates the temperature and prevents overheating of plant body. Evaporation, it increases the temperature of the plant. So this is the difference between transpiration and evaporation. ठीक आहे, ट्रान्सपिरेशन एक फिजिओलॉजिकल प्रोसेस आहे आणि इव्हॅपोरेशन एक फिजिकल प्रोसेस आहे. इव्हॅपोरेशन फॉर एक्झाम्पल आपण कपडे सुकत टाकले तर आपोआप कपडे सुकत टाकले तर ते सुकतात, म्हणजे काय होतं तर त्यांच्यामधलं जे काही वॉटर आहे तर ते इव्हॅपोरेट होऊन जातं. दिस इज द फिजिकल प्रोसेस. वॉटर डिफ्यूज होतं हायर कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन टू लोअर कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन. त्याला आपण फिजिकल प्रोसेस असं म्हणतो. सो नेक्स्ट वन, लास्ट पार्ट ऑफ द टॉपिक, difference between guttation and exudation. Okay, already we know the definition of guttation and exudation. Guttation is the bleeding of or loss of water from the plant body through without any injury, while exudation, it is giving out of liquid or sap from the injured part of plant body, त्याला आपण exudation असं म्हणतो. Let's see the difference between both of these. Guttation, it occurs in night. Exudation, it occurs during both day and night. Whenever injury happens, it exudates the sap. Guttation, in guttation, water is given out in the water in the form of water dews or droplets. In guttation, water is given out as water drops or dews. In exudation, water is given out in the form of liquid or latex or sap. For example, a rubber plant, rubber latex is given out from the injury to the rubber stem. Third one, the guttation takes place through hydathodes or water stomata or water glands. Exudation takes place through injured parts of plants. Guttation, the gutted drop of water contain organic and inorganic substances, while in exudation, the exudate sap contains sugar, latex, rubber or nira or toddy. The gutted products have less economic value in market. The exuded product have more economic value in market. For example, dews असतील लॉन्सवरती तर त्याला एवढी काही इकॉनॉमिक व्हॅल्यू नाही आहे, बट इन केस ऑफ ताडी और रबर प्लांट त्याच्यामधून येणारे जे काही एक्झिडेट आहे तर त्यांना चांगली मार्केट व्हॅल्यू मिळते किंवा मॉनिटरी व्हॅल्यू मिळते. सो एक्झिडेशन प्रोसेस इज क्वाईट important or having more economic value. So that's it from the topic transpiration. Thank you.